Good morning, everyone. Andrew Eaton here from a chilly Salt Rock, South Africa again. I seem to be wearing this jersey a lot when it gets chilly. I think my last 3 lives I've been wearing this jersey, but that's because here in Salt Rock, we we don't often wear jerseys, so there's no real need um, to buy many of them. So in my jersey again, a little bit chilly again. Sunny day though. So I see a couple of people are coming on. Guys, if you're coming on, please, if you look at the top above this video, you'll see here that in order for me to see your name, just give StreamYard, which is the thing that I use, permission to see your name. So let me just quickly go here. So I can just go into my profile here. I'll probably be able to see my live here as well. So I'll be able to see people better here when I see your comments as well. So good to see you guys all coming on. Could you just, when you come on, just let me know where you're coming from, and whether you're watching live or whether you're watching replay. Send me some loves if you're getting value. I don't expect you to send me loves now, but you can if you want. They certainly wouldn't have had much value yet other than watching me smile and laugh. Awesome, Brendan. Thank you very much, mate. But if you're getting value, just send me some loves. And by the way, if you get value out of this and you feel that some of your friends should watch this, then please feel free to tag them in here below. You can tag them in, or that's obviously if you're not watching this in my team group, or you can share it with them. I'm absolutely okay with that. I'd love you to share some message. So here's what I wanted to talk about today. So here's my little boy. So here's what I wanted to chat about today. Here we go, Angus. That's this morning I was listening to a live broadcast, but from a while back, from a mentor of mine, Eric Worre. Now, if you're in business with me, you'll know who he is. If you're not in business with me, you might not know who he is, but he's a very successful entrepreneur. And he was doing a live on decisions, and how even seemingly small decisions can have a huge impact on your life. And it got me thinking. He actually challenged me to start thinking about how decisions have impacted my life. And it got me thinking about this morning about what I've done in the last 20 odd years of my life, and how a decision that you make at a certain time in your life, that you've got no idea the impact that it's going to have on the rest of your life. And so what I wanted to do quickly this morning is just share a couple of decisions that I made, good ones, bad ones, that when I made those decisions, I had no idea how they were going to impact the rest of my life. And hopefully it will help you resonate with how important it is to be very conscious of even what may seem to be small decisions when you make them. You see, here's what I'm saying. In 2000, I made a decision as a young 26-year-old that I was going to pack up my bags and go to Johannesburg and join a friend of mine. Well, he wasn't really a good friend of mine at that stage. I'd only really just met him the year before, but he had a corporate calendar business. And all my other friends were getting involved with way more professional professions at that stage than a calendar business. But something resonated with me, and I decided to pack my bags up and go and stay on my friend's couch in Johannesburg for a while. They were living in digs. And I was going to help this guy grow his calendar business and work my way into being a partner of his. And, I remember I was so clueless in terms of what big money was in those days that, when we were making 5,000, 10,000 Rand a month, the two of us selling calendars, I was blown away. I thought I was made. But my whole idea was only to go to Johannesburg for a year or so and then go back to Cape Town, because I loved Cape Town. I didn't want to live in Johannesburg. But that small decision, that fairly big decision, but to only go live in Johannesburg in a year, led me to 15 years in Johannesburg. And the reason I tell you the story is because I want you to think, when else did you make a decision that altered the next 15 years of your life? 15 years of your life. And so in 2000, there I went to Johannesburg thinking I was going to be there for a year, and off I went. And what happened is, because of that decision to go and stay on my friend of mine's couch for a couple of months, we got that little business off the ground. It morphed into an IT business, and we did quite well for a few years. But then, I don't know if some of you know the story, but in 2008, that business, yeah, absolutely, Brendan, you can't beat Saturday on the Piley Reese. Okay, so in 2008, that business went under. Now here's where I want to elaborate on how bad decisions can also affect your life. You see, my business went down in 2008, and I made a conscious decision to let go of all my ambitions. So I lost my ambitions, and for the next 3 years, I literally wasted my life. I didn't realize that the decision I was making was going to impact the next of my three years of my life so negatively. It was this decision: oh, I'm burnt out. I don't want to do anything more. I'm just going to find myself a job, and I'm just going to get by. And guess what? The universe threw me job, just getting by for 3 years of my life. I could have made a different decision. I could have decided to get up and fight, but I decided to run. I decided to not face my fears. I decided to not fight for my life, and where it was going, and it really negatively affected me. So telling you the story made me think of a movie, and if you haven't heard of this movie, I want you guys to go and watch it on Netflix. See if I don't know if it's still on Netflix. It's an old movie, but it was with Gwyneth Paltrow. It was a movie called Sliding Doors, and it's an amazing movie because it's got a very good lesson in it. It's a really good story, but there's a really good lesson. And basically, what happens in this movie, and I want you to think about this. Basically, it happens in this movie. Gwyneth Paltrow comes running down the stairs into the subway. I think in New York, and the underground trains are about to go. And as she gets to the train, the sliding doors of this underground train are closing, and goes, or whether she waits on the platform and waits for the next one. And the movie plays out how when she makes the decision to jump on the train, how her entire life goes in that direction. And then it shows also if she made the decision to stay on the platform, how her life is drastically different. Just that split-second decision. And the reason that's such a powerful movie, and the reason I want you guys to go and watch it, is it illustrates perfectly how small decisions can affect the rest of our life. Now, here's the trick. We only realize years later how big a part that decision plays in our lives. So it seems insignificant in that moment. So Gwyneth Paltrow, she runs down to the train's leaving, split-second decision, oh, I'll catch the next one, or split-second decision, I jump on. Small decision, guys. Very small decision. You getting this? Huge consequences later on in her life. Huge. I won't ruin the story for you, but split-second decisions. And so here's what I wanted to talk to you about today, is I've made some very, very good decisions in my life, and I've made some very bad decisions in my life. And Eric was talking this morning when I was watching the video about, and it's true, we make decisions every day of our life. Every day of our life, we make decisions. Do I put a jersey on today, or do I just have a short sleeve shirt on today? Consequences, do I not get a cold? Do I get a cold? You don't know. We make decisions every day. But they're around about, if everyone here had to think about it, there's probably around about 20 to 30 decisions that you've made in your life, that we make in our lifetimes actually, which drastically influence where we are today and where we will be. And so what I'd like to challenge you all on today is to think back on decisions, and in all of our lives, on the average is 20 to 30. Think of the decisions you've made that have got you to where you are today. Now, this is the reality that I had to face up to. You see, in 2011, I'd made some bad decisions, and I was sitting in a not so happy space. And I needed to become very conscious. And here's the next thing I want to talk to you about and challenge you to do. Be very conscious of the decisions that you have made. Think back now. And I needed to be very conscious of the decisions that I've made, and as to why that they got me to where I was in 2011, which was not a good space. Now, the trick is to understand what those decisions were, And to be able to admit to yourself if you're in a bad place, that you're there because of decisions that you've made, and then to have the ability, and this is the key, guys, this is the key, to have the ability to start making different decisions, better decisions. And it sounds easier than what it is. Oh, I'm just going to make different decisions. But unfortunately, we all have a blueprint. And in many times when we're under pressure, we default back to our blueprint, the blueprint that's got us to where we are. So let's have a look at a perfect one. I get a business opportunity thrown at me. Historically, I procrastinate on business opportunities. Where's that procrastination? Then the decision to procrastinate, by the way, because that's the decision as well. Where has that got me to today? Do I need to stop procrastinating on decisions and decide to just trust my instincts and run with an opportunity? Or do I default back to my blueprint where I overanalyze and end up procrastinating? Do you see what I'm saying? Do I normally make decisions? Am I here where I'm today because I'm so conservative in my decisions that I always say no to opportunity when it comes to knocking versus, hey, I'm going to give this a go? Is this making sense, guys? If this is making sense, just send me a couple of loves here, Facebook loves, and all that sort of stuff. If this is making sense, let me know. And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to be conscious of the decisions that you've made in your past. And there's only 20 to 30 that are ones that have had ones that have probably impacted your life in a fairly big way and dictated where you've got to where you are today. But I want everyone here to take some time out and to be conscious of historically what those decisions were. Was there a pattern in those decisions? Did those decisions serve you or hurt you? Now, when I say hurt you, I mean, it doesn't need to say that you're down and out on it, but have they served you? I think let's just leave it there. Have they served you or not? Because here's where we are today. We're at a time in our lives, the world is in a time in history right now where people are having to make decisions. The global economic recession where it is today, put on steroids by COVID, have resulted in a lot of people sitting in a position now where they need to start making decisions. Some people, now listen to this carefully, some people are getting through the situation not only because of the decisions they're making now, but also because of the decisions they made prior to this recession, prior to where we find ourselves right now. Others are finding themselves in way more of a predicament. And they might say that it's through no fault of their own. But probably, if they do what I've just asked you to do, to really go sit down and analyze the decisions you made in the last 20 years of your life, 10 years of your life, really, if they really to analyze it, the predicament that they're in probably results from some decisions that they've made historically, which haven't served them, which have put them in a position to be in a more vulnerable place right now had they made different decisions previously. Now, those people need to decide, am I going to default back to those as I need to make decisions again as to where I have to move forward now during COVID, post this recession? Are the decisions I'm making now going to serve me? Do I need to start thinking differently? Do I need to start making different decisions? And how can I make them? How can I be more conscious of those decisions? You see, now in my profession, network marketing, even small decisions have a huge, huge impact on my life. Let me give you some examples. If I'm trying to speak to someone about my business opportunity and that person starts throwing all sorts of things like me, like it's a pyramid, it's all that sort of stuff, I have a decision to make. Do I let them snowball me? Do I let their negative perceptions and limiting perceptions of what I do affect my attitude moving forward? Or do I thank them for their opinion and move forward towards my goals? That's a decision. That's a decision. I'm having a bad day. I don't feel like picking the phone up and making another call. I feel like just lazing out today. That's a decision. Versus, even though I don't feel like making a call today, even though I'm feeling tired, even though I'm feeling burnt out, I need to get up today and I need to make those calls. That's a decision. And we need to be very mindful of these decisions all the time. And those will generally help us be more aware and make better decisions. Because many times people just make a decision without actually being more aware of them. And so today I want to encourage you to be more aware of the decisions that you make. Be more aware of the decisions that have limited you up to this stage. Where could you, had you made, when you reach that fork in the road, did you go left or did you go right? One's going to take you this way in life and the other one's going to take you that way in life. Small decision, left or right fork. Small decision. Do I go through the sliding doors on the subway or do I stand on the platform? Small decision. Huge impact on the rest of your life. Huge. But we only know about it years later. But it doesn't mean to say that we shouldn't be more conscious at any given point in time. So I want to talk to you a little bit as I end off this live about being more conscious, how being more conscious in my decision-making, how it served me in the last 10 years. You see, decisions were not serving me up to that point. In 2011, I knew I needed to change. I realized that the decisions that I'd been making, specifically the 3 years prior to 2011, and even probably a decade, had not served me. And I knew that for things to change, I needed to change. I needed to start making different decisions. I needed to change the way I thought. And so I decided to change my family's life. I decided that I was going to get involved with network marketing. Was there resistance from my family? Absolutely. Did my friends laugh at me? Absolutely. I made a decision not to let that stop me. A decision. And, sorry, just going to turn this off. I made a decision not to let that affect me. And as I went on this journey and obstacles were thrown at me, I had decisions to make on each of those occasions. Did I let the obstacles get the better of me? Or did I carry forward? If this is making sense to you, this is resonating, send me some loves. And I made decisions not to let the obstacles get in my way. Now, you see, I see a lot of people, particularly in my network marketing profession, that the moment they get faced with an obstacle, they go back to their limiting blueprint where they do not want to face those obstacles. It's too difficult, and they go back to making limiting decisions. I made a decision not to do that again, and it was a conscious decision. I made a decision that I needed to better myself, and I made a decision. And it seemed like such a small decision at the time. I'll tell you, I made a decision, I think it was 2012, where a friend of mine said, you need to go to this personal development seminar this whole weekend in Johannesburg. It was in the Sandton Convention Center. And you need to go and listen to these guys talk. And I hated going to those things. I thought my limiting decisions that I made, my limiting beliefs, which led to me not ever wanting to go to those things, had not served me. But something told me, it was a small decision. Something told me, well, you've got nothing else to do this week, and just go. Something's got to change. And off I went. Changed my life. Changed the way I thought. I shudder to think I decided not to go that weekend. That weekend changed my life. Because I let go of my limiting thoughts and made different decisions. I made a decision that I was no longer going to only be reliant on fiat currencies, rands, dollars, and euros. And I made a decision in 2016 to start diversifying into gold and cryptos. Changed my life. But my conservative self would never have done that a decade previously. Never. But I also realized it was that conservative thinking that got me to where I was. I made a decision that I was going to do anything I could to make sure that my family has what they have. And for that, I also really realized I had to make different decisions in my life. And so what I want to leave you with today is these three things. Number one, go back and look in the last 10 to 20 years how decisions that you've made, because there's going to be a pattern, have either served you or not served you. Go and analyze them. Promise yourself that now when you do make decisions, you're going to be way more conscious of what this make the decision quickly, but be conscious of what the outcome of that decision could mean for the rest of your life. Just try and be a little bit more aware. And thirdly, what I'd like everyone to do, if you have a story, I'd love to hear it. If you have a story on how a decision that you made, big or small, drastically altered the rest of your life, I'd love to hear it. Please put it in the comments blocks below here. So maybe it was you decided to go, hey, you decided to go to on a holiday once upon a time. You had the choice between two holidays. On that holiday, you met your who's now your spouse, and you've gone on a holiday there. You would never have met your spouse. I mean, things like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Those decisions that you only see retrospectively had a huge impact on your life. I'd love to hear those stories because it helps us drive home the point of how important even seemingly small decisions at any one point in your life can have a drastic outcome. So I'd love to hear from that. And if you are one of those people, and I'll leave you with this, if you are one of those people who's sitting right now in a not so good space because of where the world finds itself, which we can't control, I want you to take control of your decisions. I want you to be conscious of being conscious of that you need to make different decisions possibly than what you've made historically in your past. Because now's the perfect opportunity for you to start making different decisions. Now, in every time of turmoil, change happens. You have a choice and a decision to make whether you want to be part of that change. Do you want to change? Do you want to be part of that change? So I hope you guys got value. If you've got value, send me some more loves. Love to see the loves. And as I said, if you want to share this, if you feel that there's some people that you need to see that need to see this, please feel free to tag them in here. Or just click the share button. You can do a watch party from my profile as well. Click that. This is obviously for the people watching on Facebook. This is on YouTube as well. But if you'd like people to see this, just share and or tag. It will work. All right. So I've enjoyed spending the last 20 minutes with you guys. I hope you guys got value. And I will see you possibly next week. Do a live once a week. Just talk about what's on my mind. And I always just hope you guys get value. Okay. Thanks, guys. Cheers.